In at 10, Minecraft's real lore. Much like how Minecraft Dungeons expands on the lore of the Illagers, I think Minecraft Legends is planning on expanding on the Piglin and the Nether lore, but also helping to provide us an explanation as to the rest of the lore in the base game and what it may be. I'll go over some specific points later in this video. However, a question I had when watching the trailer was, why are the Piglins invading? Don't they turn into zombies after like 30 seconds of being exposed to the overworld? And while this is a different overworld with new biomes and structures and rules, I think that there could be some lore explanations already working out in our favor. MattBat once theorized that there was an airborne zombie virus that was poisoning the overworld that things living in the overworld eventually developed an immunity to, unless otherwise compromised by lightning or a zombie bite, and that's why the Nether mobs turned into zombies after exiting a portal. However, I propose a theory that the army we recruit in this game actually is what releases the toxin, as an effort to prevent the Piglins from invading again, either as a last ditch attempt after they win, or maybe it was their plan all along. A toxin that only affects Piglins, or that, like we thought, something we do develop an immunity to. In at 9, the Minecraft Nations. At a minute and 33 seconds into the trailer, the book of the villagers reading actually flips past a page that has 3 symbols on it. I believe that these will be the nations or the groups that we will have to recruit in the Legends story mode. The one on the far right seems to be an LA with the crown on its head. I'm guessing it's the LA King. The middle one seems to be the Skeleton King with a very weird crown, and the far left seems to be a zombie with what looks like either an empty head or a small brain. Either way, given the context, I'm guessing that they're the king, or at least the leader of the zombie faction or clan or whatever you want to call it. This could also be a reference to the secret paintings added in 1.19 that seem to be similar to the nations from Avatar: The Last Airbender, fire, earth, water, and air, but these are unused, hinting to me that they're unfinished, since with these kings in Legends, they could be representing air, water, and earth. Fire could either be us humans or the Piglins that are invading, but since they don't want to give that away just yet, they put in placeholders for us to speculate about, but I think that this is a pretty solid explanation. In an 8, color delay. We see a couple of different colors of delay in the trailer for Minecraft Legends. A blue one, the normal one, and a gold one. At first, I thought that the golden one was the LA King I mentioned in the last number, but after seeing multiple, I'm not so sure that's the case. That seems like a lot. The possibility of color delay has been in the base game since 1.19 was released. It's been something people were talking about, but it's not true. But what do these do in Legends? Well, I think that they're actually going to serve multiple purposes. The blue LA are like the ones from normal Minecraft. They grab items, but instead of bringing them to a chest, they bring them to you. I'm sure it's just a game mechanic meant to stop you from spending ages trying to pick up items, or maybe it's a lore reason as to why they all come to you. And the gold or yellow LA are seemingly the builders. They help build what I guess is a house in this trailer, so the different LA, if there are more than these two as well, will probably do additional things. Which is why the yellow LA don't show up in Minecraft, although it is possible that they will be added in the future. I mean, like, we have the place command now that lets you place structures, so maybe in a future creative update we will see something like this. And it's possible that to have a yellow LA build these structures for us if we end up giving them the proper blocks for it, which will be extremely cool and extremely interesting. And it's 7, ancient beacon. There is a structure we see in the beginning of the trailer that has the same pattern appear multiple times throughout this video. Once in the book that the villager is reading at the beginning, and then in the golden structure in the village, the structure that looks like a portal that the LA fly through, and then it can be seen in the gameplay actually spinning around. My guess is that this is probably an ancient form of beacon, before the discovery of the Nether and the soul sand that eventually creates the wither. Hell, honestly, even in the main game there are no naturally generated beacons, so my thinking is that this is their first attempt at gaining buffs or the like. It could be that these structures are even what keep the peace and prevent the monsters from turning hostile for whatever reason. If it was just a structure, I'd assume that they were trying to make a beacon, but it actually turning and spinning around is what makes me think that they actually must be doing something. But that's what they're doing, I'm unsure about for now. Or maybe these are the receptacles that actually release the toxin that turns the piglins into zombies. And it's 6, golems. Looking at the poster for this game, since there really isn't anything else for this game, we can see designed creepers, meaning that creepers will be in this game. However, it's also interesting to see that there are a load of other creatures that aren't in the base Minecraft game. We see what I can only assume are sentient prototype wooden dispensers that look like Cubert with a head full of arrows, a golden LA like I mentioned earlier, but also 3 different types of golem. A seemingly carved stone golem, 4 of those at least, a mossy cobblestone golem above those, and some odd blue golems next to the creepers. Now I'm not exactly sure what these could be, however I'm guessing that they're either diamond golems, but that seems kind of ridiculous, or possibly skulk golems, since they do have a similar appearance to the Warden's design, and they seem to be made with deep slate as well. Whether these were created by humans or if they just joined the fight on their own is up for debate, but I think that those are skulk golems and that they're exclusive to this game. Maybe they're in dungeons? I don't know, I haven't played dungeons. Halfway through into number 5, Falling Out. In the beginning of this trailer, I think the strangest thing we see is actually that there are zombie baby villagers playing in the village next to normal villagers without actually killing them, which is absolutely insane. Like, what? No way that's a thing. Well, believe it or not, it is. It's right there, right in the beginning. How could this be possible? Is it possible that maybe the zombies and villagers had a falling out later on that causes them to become enemies? Or maybe in our lore, the Nether War ends up turning the zombies to their side since they don't have to wear stupid hats in the Nether. So instead, the zombies join their team. I don't know, but it's certainly interesting to see that while we think we have to unite all these warring factions, they don't seem to be at odds at all. And in fact, they never were. More on that later. Or could it be that the toxin that they released to keep the piglins at bay after the war also turns the mobs hostile? In at 4, ruined portals. One mystery I've been thinking about recently is the nether portals from the main game of Minecraft. Where did they come from? Why is there nether leaking out of them, and why are they ruined? My first thought was the Shadow of Israfel, since those portals had a similar sort of style. They were scattered around, destroyed, leaking nether, but that doesn't fit into the normal Minecraft lore. However, in the trailer for Legends, this could be an explanation. The nether starts leaking out of these portals that start popping up everywhere, so that explains the netherrack around these portals now, and it also explains why the portals came around. But because they were generated from the other side. They were ruined because we had to sever the connection, and the tools were left nearby in case they ever ended up invading again. This game seems to be trying to explain the piglin and nether lore more, which I am certainly looking forward to. Getting close to the end, and in number 3, Minecraft Multiverse. While seemingly Hermitcraft is introducing the Minecraft Multiverse with Rian's Grift, the greater Minecraft Multiverse may be starting thanks to Minecraft Legends. Quote from the Minecraft Legends article on Minecraft.net. Stories are powerful. Legends teach us about what is past and what might have been. They have created a bridge between us and generations long past as well as the ones to come. We want to tell you another story about a peaceful coexistence where adventurers did not get chills when hearing hissing, groans, or the clatter of bones. And this is backed by the fact that, like I said in the beginning of the trailer, there are zombie villagers playing next to normal villagers. And while this could have developed later on, the website specifically says where adventurers did not, as in never did, even before the piglins invaded. So could this be a universe where we're in essence always on peaceful mode, but that monsters can also spawn because they aren't hostile? Or is the war a splitting point between what we see in this game and what we experience in normal Minecraft? Penultimately, in at number 2, inspired by Fallen Kingdom. See, the first thing I noticed was the piglin invasion reminded me of a very old series of Minecraft music videos, a saga if you will, by the one and only Captain Sparkles, aka Jordan Moran. Starting with Fallen Kingdom, which didn't feature anything nether related, but the follow-up, Take Back the Night, very much did. In fact, it had so much impact that it pushed the rest of the story. The other 2 music videos, Find the Pieces and Dragonhearted, heavily focused on the war between the Overworld and the piglins, who at the time were the zombie pigmen, but they still kinda had the ears of the piglins, which is where many assume the idea for the ears came from. In Take Back the Night, in fact, the main character is the chosen hero of legend, which is interestingly enough the story of Minecraft Legends. The big bad of the piglins was in fact a big brutish one wearing armor, which at first was made from wither skeleton parts but then was upgraded. The series even features taking the fight to the piglins like they suggest you do in this game's description. I don't know, but I feel like if we're not going to get an Aw Man achievement, this is a pretty good second. And finally, in at number 1, HEROBRINE is in the game. Especially if it's inspired by the Fallen Kingdom saga, it seems to me like HEROBRINE could very possibly be present in this game. They've made it clear that this is a different overworld, not one that we play around with in normal Minecraft, which means to me that they're doing something kind of daring. The issue of adding HEROBRINE, however, would be copyright with the character, since the character, while being based on Minecraft, was indeed created by a fan. So there would have to be some kind of agreement to get him in the game for real, but with the piglins popping out of the portal with glowing white eyes, it set off a trigger trigger in my brain. I mean, yes, their texture in-game does show their eyes as a white pixel, but glowing white eyes is still synonymous with HEROBRINE, especially when the big guy squints and it looks like there are 2 pixels for his eyes, okay? That sent me spinning. Oh, and also, if this is taking inspiration from Fallen Kingdom, HEROBRINE makes an appearance in the first, second, and third videos of the series. I don't know if he was in the 4th, but if they are taking inspiration from it, it could be that they take an antagonist as well. Or maybe just have a temple that hints at his existence.
Coming in at number 10, location. Legends will probably take place sometime long before Dungeons does. Now, while I'm not that interested in zombie villagers, I am very interested in how the piglins will survive in the overworld. All piglins and hoglins will start to shake once first entering the overworld and eventually become zombified, with the exception of one, the piglin merchant in the dungeon supposedly doesn't become a zombie because of all the nether fungi he carries around him. So will the piglins that raid the overworld carry fungi as well with them, or is this something else that just stops them from zombifying? So where are we really playing though? Are we playing in the ancient cities, or are we just playing underground? I mean, yeah, of course we are playing underground as Minecraft, but it really goes to show the devs are going ham in this game.
And at 9, the next game. Now, when we're talking about the next game before this current one has even come out, you're going to get into very speculative territory, but I think that this is certainly something that's developing a pattern. This game, along with the last game, seem to be expanding on certain aspects of Minecraft's lore, but in a way that makes not everything they do canon to the main game, which is certainly a clever way of approaching this, since they can gauge what fans actually like and what they don't like, so they can omit or include the proper things to the main game. And while you may think that Minecraft doesn't need lore, it has a story, okay? It has a final boss, so that makes there be lore. But in the end, if you want it to be different, it can be. That's what Minecraft is. I, for example, claim that my character is from a race of aliens that live on the moon. But going back to the next game, I think that it will most likely expand on another mysterious realm, the End. The End has been a mystery for us players ever since version 1.0 when it was introduced. So I think that the next game, whatever style it's in, possibly a SimCity style, you heard it here first, will be about the end. Or that SimCity about the end will come eventually. You may have to wait 20 years for it, but I think it's gonna happen.
Coming in at number 8, canon to dungeons. Stories are powerful. Legends teach us about what has passed and what might have been. They create a bridge between us and generations long past, as well as the ones to come. True, it might not be as most likely to dungeons, but it's also canon, as this game has been in development since before Dungeons has even came, started in 2018. Being worked on also by the same company that made Minecraft Earth, rest in peace, because we don't really talk about Minecraft Earth anymore. It can also be noted that this was 2 years before the Nether update, and that might be where the Ruined Portal's inspiration has came from, or maybe even started from. You know, it's crazy to see where Minecraft Legends is gonna go.
And at 7, the legendary Dungeons universe. In the same vein as Legends being canon to Dungeons, what if they're establishing a connected universe between all these games that aren't main Minecraft? I mean, the girl we see on a horse riding away from the rotating structure in one of the gameplay sections looks an awful lot like Valerie from Minecraft Dungeons, one of the 4 canonical heroes and the first to actually have been named. Same hair color, same outfit, albeit the Legends version has a hood, and the only discrepancy here really is the eyes, but to be fair, this isn't the final gameplay, and it is common for things to be in the trailer that get modified for the final release. Take Skyrim for example, since I'm not even going to talk about Marvel. In the gameplay demo, you exit Bleak Falls Barrow directly looking at Whiterun, but that wasn't the case in the main game. You're actually on the other side. So this could very well just be a placeholder for when they fully add the proper sized Valerie skin, or maybe this comes before or even after Dungeons, or they all share one universe and they're happening at the same time, and now they're building a new world with additional lore that they can't really put in the main game. I don't know, but it's a theory. Minecraft!
Coming in at number 6, the gameplay. Minecraft Legends is a unique action strategy game, and it has strategy elements at its core, but its mechanics are inspired by the immersion of the action games. You get to explore the familiar yet in many new ways overworld in the third-person perspective. You will defend peaceful settlements and fight hordes of piglins to stop the spread of their nether corruption. You are the center of every battle you lead, fighting alongside your allies while giving them directions. We'll reveal more about your achievements to the monumental task of repelling the piglins' invasions in the coming coming months. Some people are even comparing it to League of Legends. Really? League of Legends? Nah, this ain't no league, okay? From the looks of the trailer, we are gonna have more control of our characters, okay? It ain't no league. No.
Halfway through into number 5, the WAYSHRINES. Speaking of that rotating structure, there is one symbol that appears all throughout the Minecraft Legends announcement trailer. And then honestly, it really triggers my brain, and not in a bad way, but in this is like a really important moment kind of way. It appears on the cover of and inside the book at the beginning of the trailer. It appears on the golden statue in the village, it appears on the structure that the Allay fly through, and it appears on the poster as well as an actual gameplay that has it spinning around like I mentioned earlier. At first, I thought it was some rudimentary type of beacon, but now I think that these are actually a form of portals. Okay, look at the poster. It's very symmetrical. There's two armies, okay, there's the landscapes even kind of mimic each other, and you can see a nether portal behind the S of the Legends logo, which makes sense because it's on the nether side. But just behind the letter L on the overworld side is where this structure thing appears. Now, I don't think that it's a nether portal, okay, those are obviously obsidian on either side of the portal, but rather this time I think that they're actually going to be this game's version of WAYSHRINES, which will be an easy way to teleport around the map once you've unlocked a new area that can be immersive without having to add fast travel. Hence why the book would talk about it, why it would be on the cover, why the village would have one, why it would be spinning around all magical in the gameplay, and why it shares the same place as the portal on the poster. I mean, symbolism. Come on.
Coming in at number 4, the story. Minecraft Legends is a brand new game that tells the story of the overworld uniting against the invasion of the ravenous piglins. We talk about the piglins because piglins are the main thing in this game. According to the legends, only you can bring together the mods in the overworld and help you defend their home. The events that you will take part in are neither fact or fiction. They are simply a part of a tale that has been passed down from villager to villager. There is no records or evidence of the great hero that has raised the banner to save the overworld. All that remains is a powerful legend. But really though, the hero is us, unless we are getting some type of hint that we're finally gonna see my homie Brian in action. And believe me, if he's a boss, guys, we are gonna be in some serious trouble. Homie Brian does not play around.
Getting close to the end into number 3, the Warden. The Warden doesn't actually seem to be in this game, and honestly, for good reason. If we're correct about the story of Minecraft and the Warden, at this point, the world wouldn't have seen the Wither yet, or even the Enderman and the End. Or even the Nether. I mean, I don't think we've seen any Endermen in the trailer for Legends, so they would have no need to try and build a portal to a new dimension. But if that is the case, where did those odd, seemingly skull-confused golems come from in the poster for the game? It's certainly a question, because with all this bliss the world has to offer, it seems like there would be no need to try and resurrect your friends with soul sand, only to accidentally unleash a horrific monster on the world, resulting in them creating a portal that unleashes the Skulk. I mean, that is certainly what Disc 5 sounds like is happening, but this is a different overworld, so maybe they all live in harmony. Plus, the Warden would kind of be overpowered in this fight. But given the fact that the Piglins summon the Wither and find the pieces, part 3 to the Fallen Kingdom series, and how this seemingly is inspired by that series, I wouldn't put it past this game to give us a ringer as well, just to confirm our suspicions that the Warden did indeed kill the Wither.
Coming in number 2, Minecraft Legends Platform and Price. It's a spin-off of Minecraft, and this Legends will launch on the PC, Xbox Series X, and Series X, the Xbox One, and Microsoft hasn't revealed the price of Legends yet, but players who have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass for the console and or Game Pass for the PC subscription will get Minecraft Legends to play at day one at no additional cost. Xbox Game Pass subscription starts at 349 rupees in India, which is like $6 Canadian, honestly, and bro, $6 Canadian, I would love to pay that, because right now we're paying like $11.99 for Ultimate and $16 for like the big pass. So India, you got it good for the craft, I'll tell you. But Mojang has announced that Minecraft Legends will also be coming to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and PS5 in 2023. But let's be real, it's gonna be free on the box. On the Pony and the Switch, it's gonna be around like 79 to 89 doll hairs, okay? So kiddies, start saving, get those allowance money, and start putting it towards some Legends, alright?
And finally, in at number 1, DLC. I feel like we all know that there will be DLC for this game at some point. However, what the DLC will be is certainly a mystery. With Dungeons, they could kind of do whatever they wanted since they could just add new levels, but with this being so focused on dimensions we already know, what they could really do is up in the air. Like, what could they really do to give us a reason to buy this DLC? Well, what if instead of a new game, featuring the end dimension. They instead send us there for whatever reason, either to liberate the end or maybe because the foe we're looking for isn't in the Nether in this game. But also, it could be that since after the invasion we learn of different dimensions and we can end up discovering a new one, but I don't know. I don't know how they want to play this. Do you think that we could see more dimensions in Minecraft Legends? Maybe even getting a look at the Skulk's homeworld? Be sure you let me know in the comments. Personally, I'd save multiple dimensions for a new game, like Minecraft Dimensions, but with some skins from dungeons being called other dimensional heroes, and one of them being the Void Voyager, who really knows what might happen. And it's at respawn. Last Minecraft Legends video I mentioned that there seem to be spawners located inside the structures that we can build as well as on our horse, but I also made a passing comment on how the structures on top of what I originally considered wayshrines are actually kinda shaped similar. However, after making this connection, I am now fairly confident in this new theory that these are simply respawn points for the player. It's unknown if you'll respawn at the nearest one or if you'll have to like choose one to respawn at, kind of like the beds in the base game where you only have one at a time that can actually respawn you, but the possibility of these just being where you come back if you die makes a lot more sense. Whether these will have multiple uses is unknown, but they could very well end up being both respawn points and way shrines for quick fast travel, which would especially be useful if your spawn shrine is far away from where you actually died, if it's like the beds and you have to activate one at a time.
Coming in at number 9, the strongest mob / alliance. Of course the Piglins is on the enemy side, okay? From the looks of the trailer, size doesn't really matter though. Spiders and llamas, Minecraft Legends has a bunch of bosses, albeit they are gonna have Piglins or pig-based army, right? That you have to face during your massive journey. And it can get quite tough very quickly. You will need to employ a bunch of different tactics and strategies to deal with the mechanics that these boss fights are known for, or will be known for, I should say. And if they follow the other game's difficulties will be added, and they can sometimes overwhelm you if you're by yourself. Hence why they said, yep, co-op is definitely going to be in this bad boy. The Minecraft franchise will never fight bosses quite like these ones before. Many unique items with powerful enchantments will drop from the great battles. I can't wait to find out what's in store for this so-called Legends, as it's going to be up to us to find you the 1-2 hit combo and take you guys, or sorry, I should say take down the bad guys, not take you down with the bad guys, you know what I'm saying, because we are the good guys.
In an 8 territory, there are also multiple points throughout both trailers that we actually see blue banners of the background of certain shots. They seem to be what on, I guess in the base game would be like a 3x4 block wooden wall, and they're either blue or in one shot seemingly half black and half blue at around like 6 seconds into the Nintendo Direct trailer. My theory is that these banners mark extra territory around what is already claimed by the various factions, since I'm assuming we'd start the game after the Piglins had already invaded and had some territory. Black would mean unclaimed, the Piglin banner would mean Piglin claimed, and blue ones would mean owned by our allies and forces, although the black could be Piglins and we can just be able to take it back. Which also gives me the idea that we may potentially have the ability to lose the war with the Piglins, which would certainly be interesting. So maybe that's kind of what they're leaning towards with this game, a dynamic battle that can actually be lost, or maybe you can just have like a severe disadvantage going into the final brawl.
Coming in at number 7, vegetation, or farming if you want to call it. From the trailers there is none, or that we know of or seen. But where would we get our food from? That doesn't seem to be a bar showing our health or sleepiness, or even a loss of strength. But theory shows we might fall into the dungeons category here. What's going to keep us alive in the game? Artifacts. The totem of regeneration and the soul healer are 2 such artifacts that can heal you in the game. When the totem of regeneration is activated, can heal any player inside of a circle that appears around you, which honestly makes the perfect sense to be added. And I hope this theory is to come true, because we already seen that we have that blue rally flag zone, so this could be that dawn of something great. We already have the circle, the totem, add it, right?
And it's 6 inventories. Previously I mentioned that the blue allay that gather items for us in game probably put them in our inventory, but after watching both trailers in more detail, I've noticed that this actually isn't the case. The blue allay also summon blue chests that they then put the items into, but I'm guessing that that also adds them to our inventory, so like the allay work the same way they do in normal Minecraft, just with the exception of a note block, because we actually play the music given the note blocks coming off of our character. I'm guessing we just like strum a lute or something like that. But I'm also thinking that these Allay are actually only seen gathering blocks, and they're instead putting them into a separate building inventory that the gold Allay can then access, but that we can probably monitor just so we know how much we have of everything. We'll probably be able to pick up equipment and gear items, but we'll have to do it ourselves, and anything for building will just be between the Allay, which would make the most sense from my point of view, unless we can end up placing blocks manually, which I'm not certain on.
Midway through at number 5, secretly religious, Connor's favorite topic. Minecraft is pretty straightforward. It's a game about digging holes and trying not to get blown up by the exploding green monsters. However, some fans believe that Minecraft is actually a Christian-themed video game. They claim that it's specifically tailored to teach Christian values to atheist gamers. The theory states that Minecraft world is reminiscent of how the world was after people left the Garden of Eden. It is beautiful and free of human contamination, but it is also filled with monsters that will try to kill you at night. Supposedly the game has lessons about Jesus through its craftings and mechanics and progression. But what about legends? Are we going to be the so-called Noah without the ark? Think about it. We rallied the troops to face the evils of hell. Well, great theories for legends that we are on this legendary path to make friends with all the mobs except the piglins, even when it comes to building in the base of Minecraft. So this theory slides into legends as well. Which part of Christianity will they dive into? I guess we just gotta wait and find out.
In at 4, secret chests. There also seem to be some hidden chests around the map that probably have some cool loot in them, and in particular in the Nintendo Direct trailer I see 2 of them on top of plateaus in sort of the marsh area. The first is at 2 seconds into the trailer, then the next is at 4. These don't seem to be the same ones, thanks to the plateau design. I mean, like the second one I'm pretty sure has like another level with some trees, unless the angle or for the first one was kind of obscuring that. But my guess is that we'll be able to collect keys from various missions and quests and maybe random loot that then allow us to open up these chests if we're able to find them. Maybe like shrines in Breath of the Wild, we might have some that are difficult to find, but we may or may not get like some form of radar that actually helps us, or maybe a special Allay is able to help us, but at least if they're taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild, which is currently unclear since we've had like 45 seconds worth of gameplay, but I mean, it's possible. It's cell shaded the same way and it seems to be kind of the same style, so who knows?
Coming in number 3, the Great Pigman Villager War. So the theory of Legends main playthrough is started to make sense, and the game ain't even out yet. The villagers may not be as peaceful as they seem. They were involved in a fierce and bloody war with the Pigmen. Long ago, there were 2 great empires that inhabited the Minecraft land, the Pigmen and the villagers, aka us. The 2 empires clashed and the villagers came out on top, driving the Pigmen underground. However, that wasn't enough for the villagers pursued by the Pigmen until they found a meager shelter in the unwelcoming Nether. They continued their quest to wipe out the Pigmen. They sent Zombie into the Nether, and it didn't take long for the Pigmen to fall prey to the disease, although villagers have since renounced their weapons and violent ways. As you can tell in the Minecraft Legends trailer, they just got kids and everything. There's even one reading a story to a child to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? They've gotten rid of the violent ways, but the Piglin, they don't forget, and they don't forgive, and they are back with a serious vengeance.
But ultimately, in at number 2, the red-eyed piglins. I've mentioned this before, however, I've since changed my ideas surrounding the red-eyed piglins. See, in the trailer, when the piglins first exit the portal in the first trailer, their eyes are white. But in the last few moments of that trailer, you can actually see that they're glowing red, which is a total change of pace, okay? Red signifies anger, hostility, and I mean, like, given that their homeland is literally the Nether, I'm guessing it signifies hell. And while my first thought was that the red and white eyes are meant to indicate whether they see an enemy or not, that isn't the case. Because that was proven not true earlier in the trailer. However, I think that the reason their eyes are red is because they are near a Nether portal, which I'm guessing is going to give them more power and make them more difficult of foes, because when their eyes are white, they're not near a Nether portal. But yeah.
Finally here at number 1, the endgame. Minecraft's ending is somewhat controversial. The alpha and beta versions of the game had no plot or story whatsoever. Yet, when the completed game was finally released, it had a strange and abrupt ending. After you defeat the Ender Dragon, you have to sit through 10 minutes of text. Like, what is this, a quarry? I mean, the quarry had some good stuff in it, but come on. It's a conversation between 2 powerful and godlike figures as they discuss you in the game. an uncomfortable meta and a philosophical way. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's kind of like a podcast, but you're just reading a text. I like the podcast version of Corey though. However, MatPat felt slightly different. In his game theory video, he argues that the true message of the game is about waking up to an important and powerful you are crafting in the world. It doesn't matter if you're running outside or gathering materials in the game. What you do matters. As the game states, everything is within you. You are never alone. You are stronger than you know. So what will Legends hold? Will it follow the same path as its counterpart? Being a new game, the theory, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, personally, I don't want to be tossed in some long text after you beat the game. Just give me a cutscene, okay? Seriously. Blackbird, I hope you guys are listening because give us some animation.